Who has time to watch a 20-minute dungeon guide anyways? Not you, that's for sure. 1-minute boss guides for Azure Vaults. Really quick, feel free to use the YouTube timeline to navigate to the boss that you need. Boss cards and info will also be located in the description below. Also, don't forget to leave a like. Alright, let's see if I can do this. The entire premise of this fight is to keep the leyline sprouts under control. Shortly into the fight, and after every consuming stomp, Leymor will spawn these leyline sprouts. They're pretty hard to miss. Tanks can start by utilizing the frontal to destroy a few. Just make sure that you yourself are also avoiding the frontal, since it is, after all, avoidable. For every leyline sprout that is destroyed, an ad will spawn called a volatile sapling. DPS will want to make sure that they kill these ads as fast as possible. Soon after, Leymor will cast Explosive Brand, applying a magical brand to every member of your party. You can now use this debuff to clear the remaining leyline sprouts. Do your best to spread out. Once destroyed, there will be a lot more volatile saplings that will spawn, and I recommend that everyone moves towards the boss to help the tank pick up aggro. To finish the cast sequence, Leymor will cast Consuming Stomp, destroying all remaining leyline sprouts. If this is done correctly, it should deal moderate group damage. Any more than a handful of sprouts left will surely be lethal. Just rinse and repeat these mechanics. Azureblade has a cleave mechanic, so melee players beware of standing too close to the tank. Periodically, she will also spawn ads that need to be kicked. They can also be stunned, CC'd, and even displaced, so feel free to use that knowledge to your advantage. While dealing with these ads, Azureblade will fire off a giant mystic orb, just be sure to dodge it. At 100 energy, the boss will run off to the center of the room and the intermission will begin. Dodge orbs and kill all 4 ads in order to leave this phase. During this time, your group will be taking unavoidable damage, so healers just be ready for that. Once you get out of that phase, it's a simple rinse and repeat. This fight is super simple, but very punishing if you mess up. You will want to begin this fight by pulling Mr. Greywing away from the rune that he's currently standing on. Shortly into the fight, he will apply frost bombs to all players, and once these expire, they will leave a patch of frozen ground that you're not going to want to stand in. Make sure that before they expire, you are away from that rune. He will then cast Icy Devastator at a random player. Be sure to use a small defensive if this is you, or the healer just needs to patch this person up. Lastly, he will fly to the center of the room and cast Absolute Zero. At this point, everyone needs to move into that room that I was talking about before. This will reduce the damage of the Absolute Zero cast immensely. Now, start moving either clockwise or counterclockwise around the room, preferably towards whichever rune is available. Immediately upon pulling Umbrelskul, you'll notice the oppressive miasma, which will apply a stacking movement speed debuff. The more you move, the higher it stacks. This can be dispelled whenever, but for how frequently it applies, you and your group should try to minimize their general movement. There are a few mechanics you and your group will want to look out for. One of those abilities includes the Crystalline Roar. Do your best not to be in front of the boss when this is being cast. Also, run away from these crackling vortexes that float around the room. The main mechanic of this fight is the detonating and fracturing crystals that spawn. They will spawn 3 times per fight and will spawn whenever Umbrelskul hits 75, 50, and 25% health. You'll want to kill all 5 of these crystals before they finish their cast. If you don't, the results will be lethal. I recommend pulling the boss up towards the edge of the arena. This will hopefully get the crystals to spawn either underneath the boss or relatively clumped up. After defeating your 3rd set of crystals, all there's left to do is take home the cake. Well, that's it, folks. Nothing to it. I hope this quick little boss snapshot helped. The plan is to release full dungeon guides and walkthroughs leading up to the release of Season 1 of Dragonflight, so if that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe. Huge shout out to all my lovely Patreons who give their actual dollars and dimes. Without them, there'd be much less of this. Anyways, I hope you're all staying happy, healthy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.